In today's vlog, I take you behind the scenes where I shoot testimonial interviews for one of my repeat agency clients. I pack small and leave the van at home, opting for my truck. I use the Link app to dial in all my lights to give me the best results. Stick around to the end to see how we got these results. Also, if you haven't subscribed, hey, give it a click if you would. It's the morning of the shoot. I'm in a hotel room. I actually traveled to Oklahoma from Texas. Yesterday, I had a full day of shooting, and immediately after leaving that shoot, I had to drive up here to Oklahoma. It was about a 4-hour drive to make it to my destination, and I didn't have a chance. I've had a real busy week, month, everything, to prep the cameras and kind of set the settings right in cameras. So right now I'm going to grab all my cameras. I'm going to put batteries inside of them, and then also put SD cards in, format the SD cards, and make sure that all my settings are correct, that nothing's off. I will be using 3 cameras for this shoot. I'll be using 2 A7 IVs for my interviews and for photography, and then my FX3 on a gimbal for B-roll. The reason I use 3 cameras is I can have 2 cameras on sticks for my interviews, and when we go and do B-roll, I just grab my FX3 and I'm ready to go. I don't have to disconnect everything. I don't have to change to 60 frames a second, so it makes it a lot easier. Also, it's really important to have spares, backups, extras, so I have 3 cameras. So if one of them goes down or I have an issue, I'm still ready to go. So I'm going to finish prepping these cameras, and then we're going to jump into loading the vehicle. So some of you may be wondering where the van is. Why do I have a truck? Well, this shoot didn't require much. It was simple, straightforward, so there's no reason to huck around a ton of equipment, put miles on my van, wear and tear for a really small job that I could do out of the back of a truck. So here we are, using my truck today. It's a lot more comfortable to travel in, and it's less conspicuous, or more conspicuous, so people don't look at it and think, oh my gosh, it's full of camera equipment, or there's something expensive inside, because they may not think there's camera equipment in there. But I will say that vans in general are broken into often, because vans are used by tradesmen, and tradesmen usually have tools and a lot of expensive equipment. So even people that aren't looking for camera equipment are looking to break into vans because of those tools. Here is the dental practice that I will be filming today. And this is the lobby area, and it's a nice big space. One of the things that I'm concerned with is the high ceilings and the wood floors create a lot of echo. And we do have a nice big window, but I don't have enough firepower to actually expose correctly for this window in the background. So we'd have to fall somewhere in this world here with this background, which is not that interesting, or fall in this world with this background here, which I know it looks great. We have lamps here that we could utilize. We could put the person right here, sitting here looking towards the light, and make a good frame. But then I have to move all this furniture around to do it and make it work. And then the background's going to be a little bit dark, and so I didn't go with that route. And it would be ideal if I had half-hour more time, I could do it. So I landed on positioning the patient here. This is a dental practice. They are dentists. We are not on a Hollywood set, so we went with a look going this way. And we have carpet here. You could already hear that there's not as much of an echo. Ceilings are a lot shorter, so we have a little bit more control. So let's see what we look like with a light. So I'm going to pull out the Sidus Link app here, and I have two lights in play. So I'm going to turn both off and then both of them on. And what we have is we have a hair light here, and this is an Aperture MC Pro, and I have it set to be just slightly warmer at 3200, and our output is 24%. And this is what we have for a hair light with a darker haired subject. And we pan over here, we have the F22c. And what I did is I actually used a spot meter to see what we're dealing with overall. But you can see our percentages here in Quick Shot in the Sidus Link app. You can see our intensity for the lights. So we're at 50% on the Amaran to give us a good look. So if you go to your Sidus Link app and you go to the top left hand corner, you tap up there, and then you're going to go into the filming tools. And then we have a light meter. So we're going to grab that. And this shows up where you could actually test your light and get a reading on the Kelvin up top. So if you look at the very top, it'll tell you Kelvin. So what I'm doing, I'm taking this and I'm going to point it up at this light, and it's reading about 41K. So that's the overall main source of light coming from right there is around 41K. If I hit the light and then I hit where it's reflecting, we're landing at 41K, 40K, or 4K. So what I do is I also test my light itself, and we are at 44 on the light. So even though it says 44 here, let's check what the light is actually showing. So I need to go down a little to make a match. So just because it says 4K here doesn't mean that's the output that we're getting here. So now we're back and we're at 39, 4K right there. So even though the light down here says 37, we're getting a reading through the diffusion that reads about 39, sometimes to 4K. So let's bump it up one more, 38, and it will read 4000 Kelvin, which is what we're getting when we point up at these lights. So they're matched up. So I could cool this one off as well and give ourselves that reading of 4K if we want it to match, but I want it to be slightly warmer. And you're just going to keep looking over there.
Fancy.
I'm going to swing around and show from the other direction.
Feels so serious.
So serious. Where were you on this date and this time? So let's take a look at the lights and cycle through them. So we're going to start off with no lights on at all. Then we pop on the key light and the hair light together. We remove the hair light and it's just the key light on right now. And then all the lights off again. And then just the hair light on. Flip that off. And now everything on again. This is what it would look like if you had an Atomos monitor and you applied false color to the monitor so you can see where the light is hitting and your exposure levels overall on the image. You could see the light direction where it's coming from. We're creating a little bit of a Rembrandt. We have the good fall off, roll off, and just overall a good clean look. I like to use false color because it helps me get in to the right range and I can match two images up pretty well. Also, it lets me know if I have the exposure set correctly. Let's remove this false color LUT and show you the results. This is all straight out of camera again. We shot in S Cinetone because that's what the client requests. They don't want to shoot in log, they don't want to have to color it. So we get it right in camera, and this is what they get delivered. These are the images. Now, is every image perfectly aligned? Is it in the perfect spot? Do we have the exact amount of headroom? We don't. I'm a one-man band. I'm trying to focus on the subjects. Once we get locked in, they'll shift slightly. We just keep rolling. The big thing is smiles, making people happy and comfortable. That's the most important thing because we want genuine testimonials out of these subjects. And if they're happy, the client's happy. Being a one-man band doing lighting, sound, camera, and interviewing is a lot, but that's what a lot of the work is down here in the DFW area, and I guess in Oklahoma as well. So you take it when you can get it. How often are you being hired as a one-man band, and do you take those gigs or do you pass up on them? Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you on the next one.